Namaste, angels. This will be the weekly love reading for the period of today, Sunday, June 17th through Saturday, June 23rd. Quick announcement, I'm having a sale effective today through the week. The reason for that is because I received a tremendous download about a huge shift through which some of us will go. It's seemingly between now and the solar eclipse, full solar eclipse that comes on August 11th. I was shown that there was a connection between the Gemini new moon, which was 22 degrees Gemini, a partial solar eclipse that I hadn't heard anybody talk about. I saw this in a vision and had to Google it to see if I make sure that I saw what I thought I had, and sure enough, it existed. A partial solar eclipse that was 11 degrees Gemini just minutes after the new moon, and the summer solstice and this August 11th solar eclipse, all of these connected. And that I just didn't feel like it's necessarily everybody's going to go through this shift, but some of us are. And part of the downloads was just that what I saw and what I've been seeing in the readings, and some of you have seen for yourself, is the need for healing. And now, I mean, I always want people to get healing. I always say, like, whether you consider yourself on the journey or not, you know, our parents, our children, our pets. I have people who've gotten energy healing from me for their pets. One of my clients, her pet was having seizures. Her dog was having seizures. He pretty much doesn't anymore. He was having them like all the time. And the last time we spoke, you know, he had, you know, maybe 2 like sporadic ones. And, you know, they'd calmed down a lot from what they had ever been. He used to get them like several times per week or month or whatever it was. In any case, so I always feel that everybody should get energy healing. And it's really for a change. Based on what I saw in the vision, based on what I've been seeing in general in the cards, not just the collective readings, but my client readings too, and I've done tons. Some are definitely being prepared for this shift. So I agree now that it's important to get readings right now more than ever. And so I'm placing all of my services on sale so that everybody can get whatever it is they want, should they wish to. So it'll be a 21/12 sale because the solstice is the 21st. And I'm taking 21% off of everything for everybody, and an additional 12% for my Patreon subscribers. So for a total of 33% for my Patreon subscribers and 21% for everybody else off of anything that you wish to get from me this week. If you know, are not concerned with the shift and you don't care about where you may be on the path or where your relationship may be on the path, but you've just been wanting to get a reading from me in general or energy healing from me in general, this is still a good week because, again, it's on sale, you know, for everybody. I'm not going to ask you, like, why? You know, why do you want this sale? Is it because you think you're part of this ship? You know, come one, come all. All right, so that said, let's get into it. Now, sitting here, after I shuffled, I said, normally I would take like the top card or whatever, or shuffle some more in front of you guys. But I just felt like this was our card this week, the Temple 59. And then just as I was about to begin, I started to feel like, you know what, maybe I should still look at the top card. So I'm not really sure what to do here. I'm gonna go ahead. So the Temple, and if I bring it in close, I guess, you can see there's a couple here. And they seem to be standing before like some sort of authority or justice or something. And maybe this is a representation of the universe, like standing before God or something like that, or in the temple, or, you know, some sort of priest or priestess that is presiding over them. So I really do feel, but I also feel that we should look at this. So let's see what this is. Man of the earth, woman of the sky. this could be connected to the abundance card, with which I'm going to start from one of the other decks. All right, you know what I'll do? I'll read only what the oracles bring us. Like normally I read about the cards in their entirety. I'll just read the, like this, you know, what guidance each one provides. Oh, and look, when I picked it up, there's a card of like the same color scheme here. I didn't need to do that. Right behind this one, it looks like one big picture. This one is called Sacred Convergence. So I think this is about unions coming together too. I think all three of these are. But, you know, I don't want to read them all, like I said. But that would align with, again, what I've been seeing in the readings and what I saw on my own, what I, you know, channeled, downloaded. Definitely something huge coming. I don't yet know the details of what, but I know it's positive. I know it's good. I'm excited about it. And I, you know, have hope to receive further information. But definitely that time frame that I was given, I was shown the Gemini new moon, and the fact that it was 22 degrees Gemini is important. The partial solar eclipse that took place after that, and the part that it was the fact that it was 11 degrees Gemini was also important. And when I looked it up, I was further educated that if one has planets in their chart that are within 11 degrees of any of the mutable signs, not just Gemini, so also Sagittarius, Virgo, Pisces, that this particular time right now with the moon and the solstice is going to be super, super impactful for you as well, in a positive way. So that would be myself included. I have at least two planets in Gemini in addition to my sun being in Gemini. All right, so anyway, I'm going to go on to what the temple is about. This oracle brings you guidance to take time out to smell the flowers, savor the pleasures of life, and renew your connection to the inner lover. Your sensuality wants to come out and play. You are encouraged to explore scent, touch, taste, and feeling. You are encouraged to play with color. What moves you? What brings you into connection with yourself in this moment again? It is the wholeness of the divine self-connection in sacred space that will best nourish you now. So I think, again, this is in preparation for what's to come. This is getting yourself ready so that you'll be ready when it's more of a union situation. I'll read this one now. This oracle brings you a message of sacred relationship that leads to divine understanding and experience. You are being opened up to sacred relationship, either in your current relationship or one that's on its way to you now, in human relationships and in divine relationships with the heavenly beloved. I knew it. Know you're worthy of it. And keep a light of gentle hope and respect kindling in your heart as you anticipate the union with your beloved. Know that even when it's dark, when it challenges you, there is sacredness unfolding. The love of the divine wants to reach us not only in our happiness, but also perhaps more so in our darkest hour. Let it reach for you through your relatedness with another. And do not be afraid to be broken and opened, for in that cracking of what you thought you were, you shall begin to know who you are, which is heaven on earth. Okay, so that was man of the earth, woman of the sky, and our other card was the temple. And again, behind that, of the same color scheme, sacred convergence. So I think this is the coming together. So, you know, you're going to want to know, some of you, where you are on the path and where your relationship is, and that we can find out through a reading. I had calculated how much it was going to be. I don't remember off the top of my head, but again, 21% off of everything for everybody, and an additional 13 for a total of 33 for my Patreon subscribers. Going to the dice, I'm beginning with Dirty Movie. buy shoes. And it's 50-50. Spirit says no. So if you had a yes or no question that you were pondering in that moment, the answer is no. Party. So I think it's like no, not to worry about, you know, insignificant. This like live is what the message is. Party. By the way, happy birthday to the remaining Geminis this week, and to the Cancers that will be at the end of the week. And lastly, romantic dinner. Maybe romantic dinner and party. I hope you guys can see that associated with those birthdays or other celebrations, weddings, graduations, things of that nature. This time I'm going to go to the Angel Tarot and do the perspective of the masculine from this deck, beginning with the World. 21. I'm sure that's a solstice message too. I hadn't even noticed until just now, I promise you. A job well done, joy, contentment, and gratitude in the path toward enlightenment. So a lot of people who read tarot, the way that tarot's taught to people, the world means something like, you know, it's big things coming to you. The world is your oyster. The world is in your hands, at your feet, whatever it is, however those sayings go. That's typically not what it means for me, and that's not what it means for me right now. It can very well be about a party of three, not necessarily a love triangle, but that's a possibility. And it is about something that you should have left alone a long time ago. Now, since we're up to this came up in the general reading too. Since it's the love reading now, I'm going to presume it's a relationship, and as opposed to maybe a job or something that you should have, you know, quit a long time ago and moved on to something else, or you should have, you know, furthered your studies, or changed schools, or changed your track, or whatever. All of those connected to our general energies, but as it relates to love, I'm going to say there's some sort of relationship, whether it's a friendship, a romantic relationship, or a familial relationship that you should have left alone, that is causing a block for you in your love life. And the universe now stepping in to help to pull you out of whatever that circumstance is. And so to make way for this, the Two of Water, a relationship that continues to grow closer, forgiveness, and the positive resolution of a conflict. So again, walking away from an energy of three and someone or something that is blocking, so that we, you know, to walk toward two and partnership. Two of Water, and it's the Tower, or life experience in this deck with Archangel Chamuel. Archangel Chamuel, the archangel of unconditional love. So very fitting that he show up during the love reading. A significant life event, a powerful revelation that leads to change. It's time to spread your wings. That's specifically unconditional love, by the way, not to be confused with love. Archangel Daniel is the archangel of love and marriage. This is unconditional love. I'm giving you, to you, I'm taking from you, receiving from you, because love, nothing else, nothing else. So as it relates to the Two of Water, that it can be that kind of love coming in, and that knocks you off your feet. You know, like sometimes love knocks you down, like that song. That can be what this is about. Also, the Tower can represent an actual structure, a building, a home. They can be, moving in together or something happening, or the home can represent the relationship. There could be commitment coming. Or there can be a revelation about what you want, about the fact that you want to walk away from three and toward two. You know, it's a life-changing, a life-altering thought or experience is what the Tower represents. Opening to the Knight of Earth, who also showed up during the general reading. Knight of Earth is loyal, dedicated, honorable, and kind. He's also a Capricorn, Virgo, or Taurus, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. Time to buckle down and get things done. Honor your commitments. You have a guardian angel. The Knight of Earth always makes it to his destination. This can be all of a sudden an earth sign that you didn't expect to show up in your life, show up and show out, because, it can take them so long. They got to go through this huge planning process, but all of a sudden they're there. That can knock you off your feet too. By the way, the tower tends to represent this sign of Scorpio for me. So maybe this is like an earth and water combination. Knight of Earth. I'm going to cut. And there's Major Arcana card 8, Justice, sticking up, wanting to be seen, fair and just decisions, do what you know is right, stand up for your beliefs. And this looks to me like an 8-11. I said the full solar eclipse is to occur according to my channeled message and what I confirmed by looking up when is the next solar eclipse. It is in fact August 11th, just like I saw. This looks like August 11th. So I think that this is showing up for that reason. Again, get your readings, get your energy healing, you know, especially if you feel that you're, you know, going to be part of this ship, that you don't have much further to go. Fair and just decisions. Do what you know is right. Stand up for your beliefs. Also, victory. And that can be connected to that energy too. Like we're finally breaking through you know, just huge barriers and obstacles that had been in front of us. And that's a victory. We could be moving things out of our way. We could be physically moving. I said the tower can reflect us moving into a new home, maybe moving in together. This can also be traveling, maybe traveling to visit one another. Planes, trains, automobiles, methods of travel, means of transportation, all of those things connected to the Chariot. An important achievement, self-discipline and willpower, public recognition. The Chariot represents the sign of Cancer, by the way, where Mercury currently is. Mercury, ruler of Virgo and Gemini. So that may be another reason why we just had the Knight of Earth opposite, you know, water, the energy of the Tower, and then the Chariot. Overall energy for this perspective, this spread for the perspective, from the perspective of the masculine, however, is the Four of Water, missing an opportunity, discontentment or boredom. Open your eyes to the possibilities. Divine Feminine about herself, the masculine about the feminine, about himself, and about the union this week. Overall, what the masculine would have the feminine do toward the union, what he himself is willing to do, what the universe would have the two do, and the outcome. Divine Feminine. The Hermit, which also represents the sign of Virgo again. Spend time in quiet meditation, spiritual teaching, self-discovery. Well, we just also read two opening messages about the need to work on ourselves before we embark upon this convergence, as they called it. So I think that this is awesome. This is also about enlightenment. So that we'll be learning something. There's news coming to the feminine as well. And she may be shedding some light on some stuff too with others that is going to help to improve the situation. Also, the fact that it's a 9 means we're ending, we're nearing the end of a chapter. And that's going to come to a close. So that'll be like putting, we're reading the last few pages of that, you know, that chapter, that book, and we're about to close it and learn something new, pick up a new book. Masculine about the feminine. Four of Earth. He's got 2 4s this far already. Being too frivolous or too cautious with money. Not money. This is emotion too. Good business decisions and giving to the less fortunate. So this is about withholding, you know, one's love or giving too much of it to the wrong people in the wrong places. And I did see in the general reading on the side of the masculine, he was dealing with the energy of some sort of cheater. So it could be romantic. And it could go either way. He could be the cheater or he could have been cheated on. Maybe romantic, it may be a friend or maybe, you know, a family member, but it was some sort of betrayal. So I'll put it that way, not necessarily cheat. Some sort of betrayal that definitely did involve children for some. So it was like maybe their child's mother or something like that. And so that could be giving out love like in the wrong places and too much of it. And a need to reel that in. And then maybe not giving enough love where where it's warranted and justified, and to those who've, sort of earned your company and things. Masculine about himself this week. The Magician, awesome. The Magician represents the sign of Gemini for me, and I also connected to the other mutable signs, Pisces, Sagittarius, Virgo. It's about manifestation and our ability to sort of, like a mutable sign can do, take on any trait that it needs to take on in order to bring whatever it desires, needs, wants into its life. You are ready. You have the resources or the ability to manifest them, and life is magical. Magician, because I'm getting something else. And the Magician sometimes for me also about can be about some falsehood and a false self-mask, because that may be about what the feminine comes into, some enlightenment. Something that's going on, like a falsehood of, what do they call that? Deception, like the deception card. The masculine about the union as a whole this week, moving forward, victory, moving into a positive place. An important achievement, self-discipline and willpower and public recognition. Again, the Chariot is a major card of victory that represents the energy of Cancer, where Mercury is. So I just said the Magician represents the sign of Gemini for me. Gemini ruled by Mercury, or sometimes also the other mutable signs, that would include Virgo. Virgo also ruled by Mercury. Virgo here too. The Magician, or Mercury rather, in Cancer right now. So where we would normally be maybe a little bit rigid, and certainly could cause us to lose an opportunity. And I picked that up behind it. Also upright is the Eight of Air, an illusion of being trapped, a lack of self-confidence and being afraid to take action. This is, the normal energy of Mercury, being all in your head, overanalyzing, overthinking everything. And certainly that can cause us to lose an opportunity. But with Cancer present, it's sort of softening Mercury up a bit. And so we can achieve some victories while we're blessed with that energy. Overall, the Six of Air. See, things are getting better. Things are looking up. It's the end of a difficult situation. You may even be taking a trip. Some are definitely going to be visiting, okay, with the Chariot and the Six of Air both here. Two tremendous cards of movement, and always like positive movement forward. These are not negative if they were with regard to this travel. All right. Also, with the Six of Air, the Six of Air is usually like you're not only you moving forward towards something positive, but it's also like a conscious leaving of something, or conscious going toward something else. So this can be, again, leaving some sort of situation where there was betrayal and hurt, leaving that alone, leaving a party of three and minimizing it, reducing it rather down to a 2, where it's more positive, where you feel more safe. What would the masculine have the feminine do this week toward the union? Renewal. Boom. This is major arcana card, Judgment, and it is about coming to a crossroad and deciding where do we go from here. And if you can look at the picture, you see where the couple is going. They're being presided over, their union is being presided over here by Archangel Jeremiah, which is the archangel of past lives. And this, he's, I'm sure going to bless this past life union, soulmate union. Review and evaluate, a favorable assessment of the facts. It's time to move in a new direction. Also, Judgment, when it's not specifically relating to relationships, it's about ascension, it's about promotion, increase, abundance coming your way, and abundance that you've earned. So that can be on the masculine's mind too, just wanting you to acknowledge that, you put the work in for this and you've earned this, the two of you, and, accept it, take ownership and accept it. Be blessed. But, first and foremost, we have it illustrated exactly right here, what the feminine could do, what the masculine would have the feminine do this week. It's renewal. It's a resurgence of the energies of love, reconciliation, all those things. What is he himself willing to do? And look at all this major arcana too. Look, I'm so easily distracted. I'm so Gemini. 1, 2, 3, 4 already. What's the masculine himself willing to do? Here's another one. It's the world. It's back. This is the card with which I started. He's finally leaving some situation that he should have left a long time ago. And again, with this being the love reading, I said that I was going to attribute that first and foremost to relationships, leaving some sort of toxic relationship that he should have been out of. He's finally willing to. A job well done, joy, contentment, and gratitude in the path toward enlightenment. Again, it's not necessarily a romantic relationship or a love triangle. It can be some family member or something that was blocking. It can be some friendship, but he's leaving some third energy behind to, go toward two instead. What will the universe have the two to do? Basically, count your blessings. Be thankful. Show the universe some gratitude. They're blessing you. Your dreams are coming true. Your wishes are being granted. Your prayers are being answered. So be thankful. Also, this is a card of communication. The star. Major arcana card, the star. It's another 8 for us. 17 equals 8. Happy times. Make positive, optimistic, long-term plans. You are on the right path. So that's also what the universe would have us do. Make long-term plans and accept it. Again, like act like you know you won. Act like you know that this victory is yours. And start like readying yourself for the big connection, which may come during that month of 8. Again, August. And the outcome here. Boom. More victory. 6 of fire. Victory. Good news. It's on its way. Public recognition or awards. And this is fire element, the wands element. That August 11th solar eclipse does come during the period of Leo, the fixed sign Leo. The same way I said the mutable signs right now are going to be strengthened and further impacted in a positive way, in connection to the Gemini new moon that just, occurred and with whose energy we're still surrounded. Similar to that, when this other one happens, this full solar eclipse on August 11th, the fixed signs, so it's going to be in Leo, 18 degrees Leo. And the fixed signs in that case are going to be who is most impacted. So that is Scorpio, Leo, Taurus, and Aquarius. We had the Scorpio here. Scorpio, Leo, Taurus. But it's going to be this element of fire. It's going to be during the time of Leo where this occurs, this victory. So this is a lead into all of that. Everything that I was shown has been showing up in my cards. Let's do one from the perspective of the universe, beginning with money. So it's more that earth energy that we started with the other spread, Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo, and opening to communication. Communication. Short-term heartache. Communication. And the, representation of the quote-unquote karmic energy, often an actual female, and then further to that, often a Leo Cancer, a Leo or a Cancer or a Leo Cancer, like cusp. Communication and work. So the energy of earth signs yet again, and what we put into whatever our desires are is what we get out. This is about reaping what we've sown. Communication. young male. For some of us, this is a child, and probably most specifically as a male child, a son. For others, this can be reflective of an age difference in the union. Overall energy this week is spiritual growth, divine couple, recent past, masculine entire self, near future. Blocks to the union. The feminine can do, what the masculine can do, further advice from the universe and the outcome. Divine couple. Oop, boom. Here's your 3. Here's your world. Triangle. So again, there's a third energy surrounding this couple. Now, can that be positive too? If we connect it with the spiritual growth, sure. We can look at this in terms of there's 3 energies, and one is the universe or the divine. But I think for the most part, it's what I've been seeing and feeling and talking to you about before I even started laying any cards. Recent past. Gifts. So this is what, again, this is what came with Gemini and the Gemini new moon. The recent past with the energy of Gemini is what initiated these things. The near future, dealing with the past life issues. Karma. Judgment. Archangel Jeremiah. Masculine's higher self is on, or maybe has been taken over by Venus in Leo. This ice queen standing here with a big cat. It's a tiger. It's not a lion, but still, I'm feeling Venus in Leo from this. And I talked about what Venus in Leo means at length in last week's general reading for anybody that wants to hear it there, or you can look it up. But just know, other than that, it's about serious love upon love upon love, like really expressing love to and for one another, and should help us to get moving on things like dispensing with a triangle. Because we're being honest about what we want, and that's going to bring about some sort of change too. This also connects for me, again, I was saying that this was the energy of Gemini that I was feeling. Of course, Venus, ruler of Gemini, Libra, and Taurus. Blocks to the union. Travel. Distance. And that we have been avoiding revisiting certain issues. And have been avoiding things like the energy of 3 with which we needed to deal. So again, that's why the universe needs to step in with the energy of the world, because we didn't do it. But now some retrogrades are going to force this revisiting. What can the feminine do in addition to that? New love. So this is being ready for the new. Again, new moons bring everything new. Solar eclipses bring everything new. We just had a partial solar eclipse. We just had a new moon. We're about to have the summer solstice. So summer, of course, is all about, it's connected to the water element, which is love and emotion. And so this is about all moving forward with new and positivity, even if it's with the same person. Your new love can be your old love. Revisit it. The fact that you had avoided it before because you didn't want to deal with, you were trying to escape karma is what has formed an obstacle, but that's being moved out of the way, or you're being forced to deal with it now. Further advice from the universe for the 2, mature woman. The first thing I got was that this was connected to the young male. And again, there's some age differences. But also this is bringing to me the energy again of the fixed signs as well. And so I think it's just going to be like a representation of pretty much the divine feminine. Because what are the fixed signs? Again, it's Aquarius. So communication, being mature, being able to approach a conversation like adults, without my ego, without my pride, right? And all that kind of stuff. That's for one thing. Scorpio, fixed sign, very mature sign, allowing stuff that has died to be dead, allowing it to go, allowing myself to transform, right? To transition into this new phase, this new chapter. We saw in the last spread, the feminine coming to an end of a chapter. Taurus, nurturer, right? Another aspect of Venus. She's a ruler of Taurus, the queen of earth, nurturer, compassionate, like the empress, mother. But also Taurus represented by the Hierophant too. What does that mean? Have to get rid of people and places and things that surrounded me that no longer vibe with me, no longer gel. And that's the mature thing to do for my own well-being. And lastly, Leo, with which I started, because presently Venus in Leo, and it's going to be about expressions of love, big time. And that's being mature and honest and open too about who and what you are. So that's what this is meaning this week. And what can the masculine do? Ice King. Very nice. We've got like the Empress and the Emperor. Definitely a couple relationship being reflected on the table. But what can the masculine do? Take the lead. Take charge. Fix it. Fix it. You seen that movie? You ever saw that movie Holes? With those kids that were like in a prison camp or whatever. And they had that black guy that they were, I guess they were like post-slavery, like right after slavery times. And so he wasn't supposed to be involved in a relationship with the white woman, but they fell in love anyway. But my point was, every time he would go to the school, she was a teacher, he'd go to the school and she'd have something broken, or she'd make up something broken so she'd get to spend time with him. And he'd say, I could fix that. I can fix that. And that's what I like heard right away when I picked this up. This is the masculine's got to fix this. He's got to fix this. This and this. And he's got to, face this. And the outcome. Well, we got to start somewhere. Friendship, but friendship that does what? That leads to something greater. And you see the wedding band like ring here on this person's finger. And that's a real foundation. Remember all the fours from the previous spread? Starting as renewing our friendship first, and then building upon that with the romantic relationships and the unions, gives us a solid foundation on which to begin. I'm going to go back to the Angel Tarot, beginning with the Magician and opening to Release, or Death in the Tarot, which I just mentioned, represents the sign of Scorpio, the end of a phase or situation, spiritual transformation, time to move on. Release, and the Two of Air, being unable or unwilling to make a decision, a stalemate, pretending there's no problem. Release or Death, and the Queen of Earth, who I also just mentioned, thoughtful, creative, warm, sensible. Make time for those around you. Take a sensible approach and deal with challenges in a kind and understanding manner. Queen of Earth, a Capricorn, Virgo, a Taurus, or Venus herself. The Five of Fire. Can be about conflict, can be about the need to take action. This is aggression. This is like very Mars and Martian energy for me. Competing goals, bothersome details, conflict with others. Overall energy is major arcana card balance, which is temperance in the traditional tarot. And this is that energy of healing and the indication again of the need for healing right now. The need for a major change in energy in preparation for the shift through which we're going to go. There's a need for balance and moderation, cooperation and compromise. Wait for perfect timing. That means divine timing. Something is coming from the universe to help us. This card also represents for me, in addition to the sign of Sagittarius, which it traditionally represents in the tarot, also represents for me the sign of Aquarius, because this is a damn water bearer here on the front. And in most decks, it's a water bearer on the front of the Temperance card. Masculine this week, crowned by judgment. Major arcana card judgment is back. Renewal represents the sign of Scorpio. Again, review and evaluate a favorable assessment of the facts. It's time to move in a new direction. The masculine really having this thing on his mind about wanting to fix it, like he's been guided to do. He's surrounded by the Queen of Air, who's independent, experienced, realistic, and witty, and good at cutting off a third, a fourth, whoever the hell needs to get cut off, or adding people on if she wants to too. Objective decision making, clearing away all that no longer serves you, and seeing the humor in a situation. The Queen of Earth is independent, experienced, realistic, and witty. She's also a Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. And there can be some sort of connection here between air and water as well. Again, I'll remind you also, Mercury currently in Cancer. So there's some air and water in the celestial system going on too. In the masculine subconscious, the Six of Earth, gifts of money, time, or effort, new career opportunities, and receiving a loan or paying off debts, or as it relates to love. And even these things, for me, it's about unconditional love, being able to give and receive unconditional love. I am accepting this from you just because I'm not going to question your motives in giving it to me. And I'm giving you this just because, and please don't question mine, and please accept it with no strings attached. That's what this is. And it also represents Venus for me, because I see the signs that she represents in the card, this deck in particular, the scales of balance. There's Libra right there, right? All this earth and this little fairy, pixies. This is Taurus. All this white smoke in the back that looks like snow maybe, even though it's sunny here, like what's going on in the back there, that's Gemini. So, very Venus. Crowning the feminine, it's the Page of Earth, scholarly, dependable, patient, and successful. Good news about financial matters, wanting to do something more challenging and maybe a new area of study. The Page of Earth is a Virgo, Capricorn, or Taurus in your life. It may be bringing you news of a new relationship, or coming into your life as part of a new relationship, or in the form of a new relationship that is going to go, the long haul. It has value. It has worth. The person with whom you're in a relationship with is going to know your worth. You're going to know theirs. You're going to value each other. You're going to value the union. That's what the Page of Earth has to say. Surrounded by the Eight of Water, a desire to move on from past bullshit that didn't meet those expectations or those standards. There's a search for something more meaningful, and also spiritual and emotional growth, which was our overall energy in the last spread. In the feminine subconscious, boom, it's the Sun with Archangel Uriel. Happy outcome, brilliant new ideas that lead to success if you have confidence in yourself. The Sun, like our overall energy balance or temperance, represents the sign of Sagittarius, but can also be connected to the other fire signs, and particularly Leo for me, because Earth's star, the Sun, is the ruler of Leo, but can be representing Aries as well. At crowning, Five of Fire also back. Competing goals, bothersome details, conflict with others. Yes, it can be that. It can be also conflict, you know, inner turmoil, inner conflict, being conflicted. What do I do? Where do I go? You know, do I follow my heart, or do I, you know, continue to listen to my girlfriends or my homeboys or whatever the case is, my mommy and all that whatnot? It can also, again, be about the need to take action and, you know, and being aggressive about it, about your pursuit of what you do want. At the root, 5 of Earth. A lot of 5s. Balance or temperance is major arcana card 14 equals 5. Now we're crowned by this 5 of fire and also rooted now in the 5 of earth, which is definitely not one of my favorites. Fears surrounding money, the wisdom to accept help from others, and uncertain self-employment. As it relates to love, for me, it's all about like this lack and fear of lack. Because you lacked in your, you know, last relationship or prior relationship or your past or a past life, and you're still dealing with that karma, you are afraid of lack. You have a fear of commitment. You have a fear of abandonment. It's just, you know, it's just fear, and it's just worry, and it's an obstacle that you put in front of yourself that prevents you from having happy relationships. On the plus side, at least as it relates to the masculine here, we have a natural progression. We've already moved on from this 5 to the 6 in his subconscious, so I'm happy to see that. And for the feminine too, she's got the page of earth here, but we still need to be like reminded and mindful of this. And it's sort of like, remember where you came from so that you don't go back there. At the heart of the matter,